Hi everyone, I'm Dipali Kulshrestha working at Cloud Analogy as Senior Salesforce Consultant. I'm very much active on various social media channels as you can see, where you can follow me or can contact directly. So here is my LinkedIn ID, my Gmail, my Twitter account, my phone number, and, and my website. So, first of all, I would like to thank you everyone for attending today's webinar on Field Service Lightning Series 2. I hope you guys liked our Series 1. So, we have Rupali as a speaker for today, who is also a part of Cloud Analogy family. Thank you, Dipali, for introducing me. A warm welcome to all joining this webinar. I am pleased by taking this initiative to conduct this webinar series 2 on the topic of Field Service Lightning for Salesforce. So let me introduce you to the topic first. Okay, let's learn why we are jumping onto the FSL Managed package. The Field Service Lightning Managed package builds on Salesforce standard field service features to deliver a rich, highly customizable experience for dispatchers and technicians. The Field Service Lightning Managed package is translated into the 34 Salesforce supported languages and includes features such as scheduling and optimization, dispatcher console, and many more. Also, we are going to learn the in-depth features of FSL in the managed package and how it basically increases the efficiency of your org and objects. Okay, so as we proceed, you may have any doubts or clarifications to be done during the webinar. So you don't need to wait till the very end. We can keep clearing doubts through chats or even at the end as we go along the way. Now let us move on to how the installation process of FSL managed package works. Basically, first you need to type FSL managed package into your web browser and you will be redirected to the link from which you can easily install it in your org. As soon as it has been installed in your org, two new applications are ready to be used in the app launcher. The first one is Field Service app, which is used for dispatches, and the other one is Field Service Admin app, which is mainly for administrators. Let's move on to the permission allotment section. So let's suppose your business requirement specifies you to assign some users with particular rules. Then we need to first create them according to their field service task. And then after creating all the sets, we need to assign them to the particular profiles. So here we will be looking into the assignment of the permission sets we just created above for our different field service players. After all, what would they be able to do without the necessary access? We can also assign custom permissions to the agents. That's pretty cool, right? We'll get into details soon after completing the theoretical portion of this webinar, where you'll see a better picture of what I am talking about. Okay, let's look into how we can manage service crews in the FSL Managed package. You can assign predefined teams of workers to service appointments, saving time and ensuring that every appointment is handled by the right workers. Please also note that only service resources of the technician resource type can be added to crews. So, what is minimum service crew size? Basically, you can allot a minimum crew size of at least two technicians, indicating that a particular work order should be done with at least two technicians on it. Alright, so next, let's move on to how we can set the page layout for all the FSL objects so that it is easier for our technicians as well as sales staff to keep track of all the work orders and field service related tasks. In this webinar, I'll be explaining the steps as to how we can assign the different page layouts for two profiles, that is system administrator and standard user profiles. Okay, so this might seem to be a new word for you all, map polygons. So hold on, something new is coming your way. This is map polygons. Basically, the business requirements can vary from territory to territory, and sometimes we might want to sketch them out on our own to keep it as a customizable set. So, we should be able to draw them out on the map ourselves, right? This is exactly what polygons provide us. The ability to be flexible with our territories is a powerful add on for all. So, first, you would need to enable this in the org and then we can play around with it. I will be shortly demoing it later after the slides. Okay, so let's move on to manage geocodes and data integration rules for the field service lightning manage package. When you enable field service lightning, data integration rules are added to your org to update your field service objects with geolocation information. The geolocation information is used to calculate service resource travel times. There are few steps to activate specific geolocation codes for each profile, which I will be showing it in the org shortly. So this slide talks about the FSL managed package customization. So this slide basically talks about how we can customize and mold the FSL managed package depending upon the business requirements. These are the following features to be explained. Service appointment lifecycle, global actions, scheduling policies, schedule optimization, dispatch policies, sharing and customize the dispatcher console with field set in FSL managed package. Now, moving on to the next slide, which talks about service appointment lifecycle in the FSL managed package. So, just like we studied the water life cycle in our school days, it's just similar to that. A service life cycle defines the time period between creation of a service appointment and the end of that appointment. You can customize as well as configure the status as per your business requirement. Now, moving on to our next slide, let's discuss what are the scheduling policies in FSL Managed Package. A scheduling policy is a set of rules used in a scheduling operation. You can set the scheduling logic for field service lightning, including work priorities, travel speed, and geocoding, as well as add company scheduling policies and time zone details to the dispatcher interface. Field service lightning includes the following scheduling policies. First one, customer first. Balances great customer service with travel minimization. The appointments are graded first by the customer selection of a preferred employee and then by the ability to provide the service appointment as soon as possible. Travel minimization is always the second priority. Second is high intensity, typically used in times of high service volumes, like a storm scenario, where the business is focusing on employee productivity first and customer preferences as the second priority. Third one is soft boundaries, identical to the customer first policy but allows sharing employees between different territories to enhance service coverage. And last but not the least is emergency, used with the emergency chatter action to dispatch emergency service appointments. Shortly after explaining the slides, I will be demonstrating how a service objective can be added in the scheduling policy. Now, let's talk about schedule optimization with the FSL managed package. This optimizer helps your field service team follow some terms like SLAs, minimizes travel time, overtime, cost, and no-shows, while assigning resources to as many service appointments per shift. The efficiency is maximized. You can configure the optimizer to run on a daily, weekly, monthly basis or whichever time schedule suits you ideally. Above all, there are some limits for the optimizer, such as maximum service appointments optimized per rolling 24 hours is 50,000. Maximum service appointments optimized per request is 5,000. Maximize service resources optimized per request is 500. And maximize days optimized per request is 21. Now let's move on to our next topic, activating the schedule optimizer. This is mainly crucial for business purposes since we would always want to create the most efficient schedule tailor made to accurately meet our business requirements. A note to always keep in mind is that to activate this setting, you need to log in as the FSL optimization user and then proceed further. I will be showing how this is done in the org shortly. As you can see in this screenshot also, we have logged in as the FSL optimization user. Alright, let's move on to the next major topic of FSL, which is FSL Dispatcher Console. So, to give it in a one liner, I would say the Dispatcher Console is the main working department for the dispatchers. There contains various other tabs in the dispatcher console, which makes the work easier for the dispatchers to control and manage. Okay, so this slide is focusing on the features of the dispatcher console. So let's see how we can make the dispatcher console a powerful tool. Firstly, searching. We can search for our appointments in the list by various keywords such as account name, service appointment number, and all those fields related to the service appointment. Second comes searching for a resource. This can be done effectively by giving a quick look into the search box. Third, the bulk actions which allow us to mass update stuffs in a jiffy. The bulk actions include flag or unflag, schedule, unschedule, and optimize. Next, coming up is the Gantt chart. A dispatcher Gantt is basically a chart which gives a visual representation of your resources, schedule view, and the additional features. I will be demonstrating how we can customize and improve search views and display the appointments region-wise also. Okay, so since we've talked a lot about FSL Manage package, let's get deep down into the org and see how things work out in the Manage package. So first of all, we're going to see how we're going to install the Manage package. So we just simply type in install field service manage package, and here you get a link. Okay, so here you can see that everything is written, the link is given here. So we just simply copy this link and then we just paste it and we direct it to this page. So yeah, it depends on which environment you want your package to be installed and which version, the pre-releases, the managed package, or maybe the help resources. You have it all out here. So this way you can install it. All right. So now let's move on to our next step, which is to create the permission sets in the managed package. So here simply you just need to first create the permission sets in the managed package. So as I mentioned that as soon as we install the package, we have two apps available with us, right? Which are these two, which is field service and one is field service admin. This is for the dispatchers and this is for the administrators. So first we click on field service admin. All right. After this we go to the field service settings. All right, here we have the first homepage sort of which says getting started. We go to the permission sets. Okay, as I've already made these permission sets up to date, uh, before this you will just have a button which says to create those sets. So let's discuss this one by one. We have the FSL dispatcher, which is mainly for the dispatchers. Permissions to view and use the dispatcher console, view global actions and the related objects, and schedule, optimize, and dispatch service appointments. Okay, so this is just a brief about the dispatcher settings. So this is up to date. Resource, which is for the service resources. These permissions to view and manage service appointments and their related parent objects. We have the FSL agent, permissions to view all global actions and their related objects to create, book, and schedule service appointments. Then we have permissions for the self-service. For this is basically for the community users for Salesforce community to view all global actions and their related objects to create, book, and schedule their own appointments. Okay, so basically this is just for their own purposes. Then we have the community dispatcher. This is basically where you can use and you can actually view your dispatcher console. You can also view the related objects, actions, you can optimize, you can dispatch service appointments, name it, and you can do that. Then, last but not the least, we have the FSL admin. So these are the permissions which manage all your FSL objects, including the field service admin app, where we currently are right now. Field service lighting visual force pages as well as logic services. All right. So let's save all these settings, and we have these settings saved successfully. Okay, since we've created these sets, they are of no use until we assign them to the right person, right? Okay, so let's move on to assigning them now. Simply go to setup, then you type users here, then you have go to users. Okay, so you go onto your particular user. Fine. So you need the permission set assignments. Let's edit it. Okay, since I've already added them here, you can see FSL admin license, admin permissions, agent permission and license, dispatcher permission and license, mobile license, resource permission and license. So yeah, that's about all about it. You can also add FSL community dispatcher license, the permissions, the self-service permissions as well. Okay, so we're done. Let's click on save. Okay, so we've assigned this to our particular user. In the similar way, you can add it to any other user you want to in your org. Okay, so now moving on to the next step, which is service crews. So we need to make a crew, we need to add crew members in it, we need to add the particular resource who will be allocated in that crew. So all of that. Okay, so let's move on to service crews from here. All right. So here, as you can see, I've already created 3. So let's create a new one. Okay, let's name it. For example, it's a light replacement crew. All right. We also need to specify the crew size. How many members are actually going to fit into it? So let's say it's about 10. Okay, I save it. Okay, here I have my service crew. So now from the related section, the related objects, we have service crew members. So we add some members from here. We give a start and end date just to specify uh, from what period of time the work has to be done. So let's give it some random dates here. Okay, we also have a checkbox of leader here, as you can see. Just like in any team, we always have a team lead, right? So similarly in the service crew, we will have a leader who will be managing all the things. From here, you can select your service resource. Okay, so we just click on save and our member has been added. You can add, like suppose we have 10, so we can add 10 also from here. All right. Okay, also, just like I mentioned earlier, the to add it. Okay, so now let's move on to our next topic, which is assigning the page layouts to the different objects like service appointment, work order, or operating hours. So basically, it just makes the look and feel much better for those field service resources and those workers, uh, to make it very potential and very easier for them to manage their work task basically. So let's move on to setup and then go to profiles. From the profiles, let's select the most common one, which is system administrator. Okay, from here we need to go to our first object. Let's say let's go to operating hours. We go to view assignment. Alright, so here as I've already selected FSL operating hours layout, let me show it to you how we can do it. So edit assignment here. First we select all of them, we drag and then select all of them till here. Okay, from here we select FSL operating hours layout. We click on save. You can see that all of them are assigned here for all of the users. Now similarly we can do the same for our let's do it for service appointment. Okay, so here let's go to our service appointment. So we have a service appointment here. It's just taking a bit of time. Alright, so here we have already set it to FSL service appointment layout. Here maybe these three were not selected. Let's select them also. Okay, here we click on save. Here now you can see all of them are assigned to the FSL service appointment layout. So similarly, we can do it for the other objects such as service resource, for the work order line item, and work type. So this can be similarly done for other profiles as well. So that depends on your customization also. Now, let's talk about map polygons, which was a very new term for all of us. Map polygons are basically just to customize your territories and to assign specific service resources to those particular area. So how do we enable those settings now? Let's move on to that. So first we go to permission sets. Okay. From permission sets we go to FSL dispatcher permissions here. Okay. From here we need to go to custom permissions. Okay, we go to edit. So here we need to enable two settings, which is FSL polygons create, update, and view. So I have already added both of them. So let's just save the settings again. Okay, just to give a quick tip here, if you want to give access to only a selection of your users, you can always create custom permission sets and assign these permissions to those particular users. Now, let's move on to our field service admin app. Here we need to go to service appointment lifecycle, go to creation, And then just make sure these checkboxes are true, which is derive the service appointment due date from its work type, prevent update of pinned or unmovable service appointments. So these are just particular checkboxes important for map polygons. Then the territory classification policy should be set to the highest. Okay, so let's save these settings again. So we're done the settings for map polygon. So now let's move on to the next topic, which is the data integration rules, which we get with the FSL managed package. So to ensure your data integration rules are set up so that the closest qualified resource can deliver field service, this is very important. So from here, let's go to data integration rules. Okay, here we have specific data integration rules here. So now let's go one by one. First is geocodes for resource absence address, which is here. So we need to basically just active them. Okay, from here we go to edit rule settings. From here we need to we should make sure that bypass triggers is deselected and bypass workflow rules, and this checkbox should be ticked. So we have to save the settings. Okay. Similarly, we have to do these steps. We have to repeat these steps for the other FSL objects, which is geocodes for service territory address, for service territory member address, for the address field of address, work order, and work order line item. So all of them should be active as well, as you can see out here. Okay, so let's proceed towards the service appointment lifecycle in the FSL managed package. So a service appointment lifecycle is the sequence of stages that a service passes through. And the lifecycle covers the time when the service appointment is created until it is completed, like I explained it earlier in my slides. So let's see how we can configure this according to our business needs. So we go to the field service settings, service appointment lifecycle, SA status. Here, these are particular stages for new service appointment will be scheduled automatically. Service appointment is tentatively scheduled will be scheduled. And these are similarly those settings for each of the in progress, in completed, not completed, and cancelled. So we simply save these settings. And okay, so this is configured. Now let's move on to the global actions. So the global actions are just basically we use the derivations to map the fields on field service objects to fields required for scheduling service appointment. So the book appointment global action, this uses the mappings to get correct information in the service appointment. So these are service territory, the start and end time, the scheduling policy, and the work type. Okay, so now let's shift on to our second topic, which is scheduling policies in the FSL managed package. So there are basically some policies which are made for the crew members as well as for the service resources. So we need to go to the app launcher and type scheduling policies. Here I have created one scheduling policy by the name of service crew policy. Okay, here just we need to save it by writing a name, and we also have a travel mode checkbox, which is basically to remind the crew that it is in the travel mode right now. Here we go to the related list. You can see we have two related lists here, scheduling policy work rule and policy objective. Now I have created one here, the name of matching service work rule. Okay, so this work rule has been named and the resource property is active because the rule is active and the value is true.
Then we have a scheduling policy objective by the name of mission service. Okay, you just have to give a lookup which is of service goal name. Okay, so this was about the scheduling policy. We can also create the new ones like from here. So there is basically a lookup of the work rule from here. And same as the case for policy objective. We can also add some weight to the policy objective to define its priority. Okay, so proceeding towards the next topic, which is to activate the field service lightning optimizer, which I mentioned in my slides that we need to first log in as the FSL optimization user. So let's do that. So first we need to shift to our field service settings from the app, and we go to the optimization tab and click on activation. So since mine is already activated, here we just have a button which says that you have to log in as the FSL optimization user. So this is my user. Okay, so this is already optimized here. Okay, then you just go to save settings and these settings are saved. Okay, the user for FSL optimization is out here. Here, as you can see, this is the FSL optimization user. You have the username and the password you can set, and then you can log in using this user. Okay. Okay. Proceeding forward to our next topic, which is the major topic of FSL managed package, which is the dispatcher console. So the dispatcher console basically contains all your dispatchers related information, like which appointments have been scheduled, which have been dispatched. So you can keep track of all of that. So since we have two apps, in the beginning I explained that field service is for the dispatcher. So we can move on to that. Okay, from here we need to move to the field service tab. Here you can see that I have basically there is a Gantt chart. I will also explain this later on. These are the appointment status here. So I have one appointment which is scheduled and the other is dispatched. So the search feature works in such a way, suppose I type here as scheduled. So I have this appointment clicked here. Or maybe I write the number, the service appointment number, so 15. Then I have my dispatched appointment here. So any property you can add and you will be able to easily search your service appointment. We have two buttons here, schedule, dispatch. Click on dispatch, you can select the service appointments you would like to dispatch and according to the regions. Then we have these settings here to filter our dispatcher console settings. So we can even put a window limit like number of days to show before the selected scheduling horizon in the appointment list. So I've set it to 14. You can customize it according to your needs. And I have selected this, enable this checkbox which says to load the Gantt chart on today's date. So I'll be getting a new Gantt chart every day. So Gantt chart is basically just a visual representation of your service appointments. Like here we also have this lock unlock button, which is basically for read write. If it's lock, it's just for read, and unlock will be for read write. You can do the editing here. So here, this is my service resource, and the resource type is technician, and all the related service appointments, the absences, territories, everything will be shown up here. The dispatcher console Gantt chart, we have the particular settings also. So we need to migrate to our field service admin app. Here we can customize the dispatcher console UI, which is the basic look and feel how you want it represented. Okay, here we have dispatcher console UI, the Gantt configurations. These are, you can set the time zone as well if you want it as the logged in users or each service territory time zone. So these are the basic settings which you can adjust accordingly. So let's move back to our Gantt chart. So let's click on the first appointment, and then from the settings, you can assign it to the Gantt chart here. So you can see at which particular time it is allotted. Then as well as similarly for the dispatched one, you can show it on the Gantt chart to see the timeline of the appointment. Then let's move how we can create a map polygon. So click on map, we go to map layers, you go to polygons, and we can give a name, suppose service 1 territory. Can select a color and the region for which we want to create. Then we have this icon here, small icon. Let's say I want the area from here. Suppose this is my one region here. Here I have my region which I have made customizable for service 1 territory. Then we can save. So I can assign some service resources in this particular polygon. So in this way we can create another one which I have created here. So you can make it in any shape or any area, any amount of area. So that is simply customizable according to your business needs. So yes, this was all about field service lightning managed package. So now this webinar is open for some Q&A session. All right. So now this session is open for some Q&A, and everybody can ask questions related to the field service lightning managed package.
So, hi Rupali. I
Hi.
found the webinar quite interactive and explanatory.
Thank you.
I have a question. How can we add skills in field service lightning?
Okay, so thank you so much for your question. And this is indeed a very nice question because skills can not be added in the lightning experience. So let me show it to you how we can add that.
Okay.
Okay, so we have switched to classic, and in the setup we need to type in skills. Here we can see skills. As you can see, I have created 2 skills already, so let's create a new one. You need to give a name and developer name, and if you want you can give a description so that it helps the service resource and your technicians also. We can skip the assign user and assign profiles section because this applies only to the live agent profile. So this is how we can create the skills, and we can also add these skills to our resources. For that we have to switch to lightning experience. From here we can go to our service resource. From the related section we click on new. Here you can see the skill which we just created recently. We can add skill level as well. So this is how we add the skill. I hope I have cleared your doubt.
Yes, I have understood.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, fine. So if anyone else has any questions, you can also ask that right now so that I can clear it.
Hi Rupali, I enjoyed
Hi.
the webinar as it was a new topic for me and understandable as well. So I have doubts regarding work rules which you earlier showed in scheduling policy work rule.
Okay, thank you for your question. So let me show you what is work rule in my Salesforce org. So work rules are basically some rules and limitations which we apply on the service resource so that no problem occurs in their appointments as well. So first we have to click on work rules in the field service admin app. Here, let me explain what is the working territories rule. So this rule basically checks if your territory is of the type secondary, and if you're adding it to your service resource, it will show an error that you are not a member of the primary territory. So let me go to my service territory. I have created one territory here, and the territory type is secondary. So let me add a service appointment. So here, as you can see the error here, service cannot be scheduled when primary territory member is not defined because our territory type was of secondary. So before that, we should ensure that our rule is active, like here it is active. So I hope I have cleared your doubts and your question as well.
Yes, Rupali, this was understandable for me and thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I hope all of you have enjoyed my webinar and it was more or less understandable and interesting as well. So thank you very much to join and to make an interactive webinar also. So thank you.